Without self-awareness and empathy, communication in relationships, any kind of relationships, can turn into chaos. When you're not aware of your own emotions, your own thoughts, when you struggle to empathize, not just with others, but with yourself, your communications in your relationships, especially when it comes to conflicts, will have your self-defense mechanism on, which means you will start to point fingers at others. You will not be taking responsibility for the way you feel due to pride, due to shame, due to guilt, whatever mask that you're wearing at that point. You struggle to simply connect with yourself and speak the truth, and instead you start blaming your partner, your family, your people around you that you love, and other people that you're speaking with. So a lot of times when we are not self-aware, especially with our hurt, with our shadows, with our darkness, even our light, our gifts, so many of us are suppressed to simply see our gifts. When we're not self-aware, we are still identifying with our shadows, which means it might be challenging to detach from our shadows, to detach from our emotions. And that is why I love teaching people about processing emotions, about detaching from one's emotions. The longest relationship you have in your reality is the relationship you have with yourself. So wouldn't it be better to develop, to amplify, to deepen the connection with yourself? And in order for you to do that, empathy is super important, compassion is important, and communication with yourself. Communication with your shadows, with your light, with your higher self, with your spirit. This is super important. If you do not have that communication with yourself, that connection, that awareness with yourself, how then will you have the beautiful relationship you desire with somebody else? So specifically in this video, I'm going to share with you how to detach with your emotions and how to communicate with your emotions for deeper awareness, and so that you have an effective communication with your loved ones, with whoever is in your circle, with your partner. When we are so attached to our emotions, we are continuously reacting from that emotion without seeing the root of it, without seeing the deeper picture behind it, the beliefs behind it, the drive behind it. By detaching from your emotions, you're able to see the bigger picture, you're able to see with clarity, and also you get to hear your intuition much clearer. When we're so fogged up in our emotion, we are not able to hear what our intuition is saying, and we continue driving into the chaos mode. There are so many methods for detaching from your emotions. So understand that detach is not the same as disconnect from your emotion, okay? You can still be connected to your emotion and detach from it. Detach simply means not taking it personally and being aware, being present with it. I've used many methods for it, but the one I found most effective for me and for my clients who feel very attached to their emotions, I have used this method for so many years, especially when I was deeply struggling with my own emotions, my own hurt. I learned how to, in my words, I learned how to self-parent myself. I learned how to guide myself. Of course, through the guidance of my intuition, through the guidance of my beautiful spirit, which led me to the ability of nurturing my emotions and being detached from them. I want you to try this method at home when you are free, even when you're busy, actually, when you're so busy and you just want to take that 5-minute breather. Try this out. Okay, ready? First step, let's say you are struggling with a negative emotion that keeps troubling you, whether it's anxiety, frustration, anger, loneliness, anything, okay, that you're struggling with quite often. Instead of trying to heal, trying to fix, trying to ground yourself, of course, grounding yourself is important, but don't try to ground yourself to fix the negative emotion. Instead, allow yourself to ground, center yourself, even within the chaotic emotion. Instead of trying to fix, trying to heal, trying to let go, all that stuff, I want you to picture yourself outside of your body. No disconnection. This is not astral projection. You are simply imagining as if you're watching a movie. You can use a prop if you want. Draw something on a paper that pictures you. Put it in front of you, or take a mirror, take the camera like this right now. Put it in front of you. Take a doll and you have it in front of you. If you struggle to have that picture in front of you, struggle to look at the mirror, imagine a child version in front of you. What worked for me was imagining the child version of me in front of me and start talking to that picture. So I spoke to my inner child in front of me, asking her, what is the matter? What's the problem? Why do you feel this way? Why do you feel angry? Why do you feel lonely? What's making you feel this way? Asking all the questions as if you would really ask a child what's going on, or your best friend, or your loved one, what is going on, without judgment, right? Without judgment, without criticism, without trying to fix anything. You simply want to hear. You want to be aware. You want to empathize. And the power of empathy is this, that you listen with compassion. That you hear and know what would help that person without trying to think, oh, this must work for this person, or hey, this is what I did, so this must work for you. All the shadow wants, all the hurt side of you want is to be heard. And in order to hear, there's no way you can criticize, because whenever someone criticizes, they shut down. They do not want to share the whole thing. So allow yourself to hear what they want to share, how they want to evolve. Every part of our being wants to evolve. When there's no evolution, we suppress. We are not being heard by ourselves. We're not communicating. We're not connecting. So there's no evolution on that part, but simply being stagnant or being held back. Again, I want to share this. Look at the mirror, speak to you as if you're speaking to your loved one, to someone who really wants your help. This is also how you can start coaching yourself, guiding yourself, or being a parent to yourself. Use a doll if you feel like that's a good idea. Use a doll in front of you, imagining that's you. Whatever part of you want to connect with. This doesn't just work with shadows, okay? It works with whatever part that you want to connect with. Your body, or illness, physical illness, your light side, your gifts. Maybe you don't know what your gifts are and you want to recognize them. You can use the same method of picturing yourself outside of you, because when you do that, it's so much easier to detach, because now you're pretending as if it's someone different in a way because it's outside of you. But keep in mind, it's not separate, okay? It's more of a mental practice to detach, to see clearly, to have clarity, and to listen to your inner wisdom on what comes. So try that out. So how does this relate to having conscious communication, effective communication with the people in your life? At this point, when you're able to detach from your emotions, you're able to see with clarity what's actually going on inside of you. Where is this frustration coming from, for example, with your loved one? And being vulnerable enough to share with your loved ones that, okay, this is actually what I'm feeling. It's not you. I'm not blaming you. I'm not blaming anyone. It's what I'm feeling. I'm starting to realize as I speak with you that it's coming from this. So go on talking about it, or work on it independently, work on it together with understanding, with support, with love. There are so many possibilities on how this effective communication can translate into. Therefore, there's no such thing as arguments anymore. There's no such thing as blaming. There's no such thing as toxic relationships anymore. If you want to learn more on vulnerability in relationships, I also have released a video on vulnerability within relationships, making it empowering for you. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, any comments, simply leave your questions below and I will get back to you.